What if I told you that Hollywood's biggest icons had love affairs so scandalous they had to be buried for decades? These leading men weren't just legends on screen. They lived secret lives full of passion, betrayal, and forbidden romance. But who were their secret lovers, and why did Hollywood try so hard to hide the truth? Hollywood's golden age was full of glamorous love stories, but some of the most shocking ones never made it to the headlines. Studios controlled every detail of their biggest stars' lives, covering up scandals and hiding affairs that could ruin careers. But the truth always has a way of coming out. Let's uncover Hollywood's most secret love affairs, the ones they never wanted you to know. Number 1. Clark Gable and Loretta Young. The king of Hollywood harbored a devastating secret that remained buried for decades. When Clark Gable met the devoutly Catholic Loretta Young on the remote set of The Call of the Wild in 1935, their forbidden passion ignited a scandal that would haunt them both forever. Gable, married and Hollywood's biggest star, left Young with a secret that could destroy both their careers instantly. The shocking truth: Young was pregnant with Gable's child, a catastrophe in 1930s Hollywood. Desperate and terrified, she orchestrated perhaps the most elaborate cover-up in Hollywood history. She disappeared from public view, secretly gave birth, and then, in a twist that defies belief, adopted her biological daughter to hide the scandalous truth. For decades, Young raised her daughter Judy as adopted, never revealing that the girl's father was the most famous leading man in America. The psychological toll was devastating. Young carried this secret shame her entire life, only for her daughter-in-law to reveal decades later that what happened between Young and Gable would today be considered date rape. The truth remained hidden until Judy was 31 years old, when she finally discovered why she bore such a striking resemblance to the legendary Clark Gable. Number 2. Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. For 26 years, two of Hollywood's greatest legends lived a lie. Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, whose on-screen chemistry captivated audiences, were hiding something far more explosive behind the cameras. Their forbidden romance began in 1942 and continued until Tracy's death, with one devastating complication. Tracy was married and refused to divorce his wife. What the public never saw were the tears behind Hepburn's strong facade as she accepted her role as the other woman for nearly 3 decades. The woman, known for her fierce independence, sacrificed everything for a man she could never truly have. They maintained separate residences, never appeared together in public, and lived in the shadows while MGM Studios orchestrated an elaborate cover-up to protect their valuable stars. The heartbreak ran so deep that Hepburn didn't even attend Tracy's funeral out of respect for his wife, the ultimate painful sacrifice after decades of secret love. She waited until his widow died before ever speaking publicly about the man she later confessed. "I would have done anything for him." Their love affair represents perhaps the most bittersweet tragedy in Hollywood history. Two souls, deeply connected but forever kept apart by the merciless demands of public image. Number 3. Cary Grant and Sophia Loren. When Cary Grant and Sophia Loren co-starred in The Pride and the Passion in 1957, Grant was 53 and married to his third wife, while Loren was 23 and involved with producer Carlo Ponti. Despite these commitments, Grant fell deeply in love with Loren, bombarding her with flowers and love letters during filming. Grant's infatuation was so intense that he proposed marriage to Loren, despite still being married himself. Their chemistry was palpable, both on and off screen, leading to another collaboration in Houseboat, 1958, where their romantic tension was visible to everyone on set. Loren was torn between the charming, established Hollywood icon and Ponti, who had discovered her and guided her career. Ultimately, she chose Ponti, later explaining, "It would have been a big step for me, but Carlo was Italian, and I knew I would never have been able to adjust to a different culture." Grant was reportedly heartbroken, and though they remained friendly, there was always an undercurrent of what might have been. Number 4. Frank Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe. The relationship between Frank Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe remains shrouded in mystery and conspiracy theories so dark they've never been fully revealed. Until now. Their clandestine affair began after Monroe's divorce from Arthur Miller. But what started as physical attraction soon evolved into something far more complex and potentially sinister. Behind closed doors, Sinatra reportedly considered marrying the troubled star, who frequently stayed at his Lake Tahoe resort in the final days before her shocking death. But the most disturbing questions center around what Sinatra knew about Monroe's final hours and her alleged connections to the Kennedy family, with whom Sinatra was also entangled. Some investigators have suggested that Sinatra may have possessed devastating secrets about Monroe's mysterious death that he took to his grave. Was their relationship truly one of love, or was Monroe being manipulated into a dangerous game involving Hollywood power players and political figures? The truth about their affair remains one of Hollywood's most closely guarded and potentially explosive secrets. Number 5. Frank Sinatra and Ava Gardner. Before his connection with Monroe, Sinatra's most passionate and tumultuous relationship was with Ava Gardner. When they met in 1949, Sinatra was already married to his first wife, Nancy, with whom he had 3 children. Gardner was a rising star known for her beauty and fiery personality. Their attraction was immediate and overwhelming. After a passionate 2-year affair that became increasingly public, Sinatra left his family for Gardner. Nancy granted him a divorce in 1951, and just 72 hours later, he married Gardner in a hasty ceremony. Their marriage was as volatile as their courtship. Both strong-willed and jealous, they fought frequently and dramatically, often in public. Gardner once famously attempted suicide, and Sinatra's career suffered a significant downturn during their relationship. Despite their passion, the marriage lasted only 6 years before ending in 1957. Number 6. Humphrey Bogart and Loren Bacall. A 44-year-old married man and a 19-year-old ingenue, their forbidden affair scandalized even Hollywood's jaded inner circles. When Humphrey Bogart met Loren Bacall on the set of To Have and Have Not, their attraction was immediate and overwhelming, despite the 25-year age difference that raised eyebrows throughout the industry. What made their affair even more shocking was the web of betrayal it created. Bogart was trapped in a volatile marriage to his third wife, Mayo Methot, while director Howard Hawks had discovered Bacall and harbored his infatuation with her. When their affair became obvious, Hawks threatened to destroy Bacall's career before it even began by selling her contract to another studio. Their chemistry was so electric it couldn't be contained on or off screen, with Bacall's famous line, "You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow," carrying an undercurrent of forbidden desire that audiences instantly recognized. Their affair continued in secret until Bogart finally left his wife, marrying Bacall just 11 days after his divorce was finalized. Unlike most Hollywood romances, theirs endured until Bogart's death from cancer in 1957, with Bacall later describing their connection as headlong, truthful, devastating. Their relationship proved that sometimes the most forbidden romances become the most enduring. Number 7. Rita Hayworth and Ali Khan. America's love goddess sparked an international incident when she fell for a Muslim prince, creating a scandal that rocked both Hollywood and the Islamic world. Rita Hayworth, still married to Orson Welles, began a passionate affair. Realities continued. Hayworth fled back to Hollywood, leading to a bitter custody battle that exposed the ugly truth behind their fairy tale romance. Their affair represented the catastrophic collision between Hollywood glamour and international royalty, two worlds that proved explosively incompatible. Number 8. Ingrid Bergman and Roberto Rossellini. Few Hollywood scandals matched the intensity of the public backlash against Ingrid Bergman when news broke of her affair with Italian director Roberto Rossellini. In 1949, Bergman was at the height of her career, having starred in Casablanca and won an Academy Award for Gaslight. Married with a daughter, she embodied wholesome charm to American audiences. When she wrote to Rossellini expressing interest in working with him, he invited her to Italy to film Stromboli. During production, they began an affair, and Bergman became pregnant. The revelation that she was expecting Rossellini's child while still married to dentist Petter Lindstrom created an unprecedented scandal. The backlash was severe. She was denounced on the floor of the US Senate as a powerful influence for evil, blacklisted from Hollywood, and forced to remain in Europe for years. Bergman divorced Lindstrom, married Rossellini, and had 3 children with him, including daughter Isabella Rossellini. Though they divorced in 1957 and Bergman eventually returned triumphantly to Hollywood, the affair marked a turning point in celebrity culture and demonstrated the harsh consequences faced by women who defied social norms. Number 9. Vivien Leigh and Laurence Olivier. They were theatrical royalty, but behind their perfect facade lay a relationship consumed by passion, mental illness, and heartbreak. When Vivien Leigh and Laurence Olivier began their affair in 1936, both were married to other people, Leigh to lawyer Herbert Lee Holman and Olivier to actress Jill Esmond. Their attraction was so overwhelming that Olivier later described it as a coup de foudre, lightning strike. They conducted their illicit romance in secret for years, while their careers soared, Leigh landing the coveted role of Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, and Olivier becoming Britain's premier classical actor. But their seemingly perfect union harbored a devastating secret. Leigh struggled with severe bipolar disorder in an era when mental illness was barely understood. As her condition worsened, her behavior became increasingly erratic and sometimes violent. Olivier's growing frustration and eventual affairs, particularly with actress Joan Plowright, led to their divorce after 20 turbulent years. The tragic truth: despite leaving her, Olivier maintained that Leigh was the great love of his life, keeping her photograph by his bedside until he died in 1989, a final testament to a passion that consumed them both. Number 10. Debbie Reynolds, Eddie Fisher, and Elizabeth Taylor. It was the betrayal that shattered America's image of the perfect couple. Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher were Hollywood's sweethearts, a seemingly idyllic pair with 2 young children, including future Star Wars actress Carrie Fisher. Their close friend Elizabeth Taylor was grieving the sudden death of her husband Mike Todd, who had been Fisher's best friend. What happened next shocked the nation. Fisher, supposedly consoling the widowed Taylor, began a passionate affair with her while still married to Reynolds. When the scandal broke, America watched in horror as Fisher coldly abandoned his wife and children for Taylor, creating one of the most infamous love triangles in Hollywood history. The media cast Reynolds as the innocent victim, Taylor as the homewrecker, and Fisher as the man caught between them. Reynolds later revealed the devastating truth: "I was the last to find out about the affair. You all knew before I did." The betrayal permanently damaged Fisher's career, while paradoxically boosting both women's popularity. In a twist that seemed like poetic justice, Taylor later abandoned Fisher for Richard Burton after beginning an affair on the set of Cleopatra, leaving Fisher to experience the same painful rejection he had inflicted on Reynolds. Years later, Reynolds and Taylor remarkably reconciled, maintaining a friendship until Taylor died in 2011, a surprising final chapter to Hollywood's most notorious love triangle. Number 11. William Holden and Nancy Olson. William Holden's charm and good looks made him a leading man in 1950s Hollywood, but his personal life was troubled by alcoholism and infidelity. While married to actress Brenda Marshall, Holden began a relationship with his Sunset Boulevard co-star Nancy Olson. Their affair was carefully kept out of the Hollywood gossip columns, but it was an open secret on set. Olson, who was 11 years younger than Holden, was drawn to his charisma despite knowing about his marriage. The relationship continued for several years, with Holden frequently promising to leave his wife but never following through. Eventually, Olson ended the relationship, realizing that Holden's alcoholism and inability to commit were destructive forces she couldn't overcome. She went on to marry lyricist Alan J. Lerner, while Holden remained in his troubled marriage before entering into other relationships, including a long-term partnership with actress Stephanie Powers. His demons ultimately contributed to his tragic death in 1981, when he fell in his apartment while intoxicated and bled to death. Number 12. James Dean and Marlon Brando. Two of cinema's most iconic rebels shared more than just an acting philosophy. Behind their revolutionary performances and bad boy personas, James Dean and Marlon Brando allegedly shared a secret relationship that remained hidden for decades, a connection that would have instantly destroyed both their careers if exposed. According to numerous Hollywood insiders, Dean idolized Brando to the point of obsession, pursuing him relentlessly despite Brando's ambivalent response. Brando, who later acknowledged having homosexual experiences, reportedly found Dean's admiration simultaneously flattering and annoying. creating a complex dynamic between the two rebellious stars. Writer Truman Capote, who claimed intimate knowledge of their relationship, revealed Jimmy was madly in love with Brando. Of course, Brando was always playing with him, leading him on. Their connection represented the fluid sexuality that existed beneath Hollywood's rigidly heterosexual surface, where any deviation meant professional suicide. Dean's tragic death at age 24 in a car accident abruptly ended whatever might have developed between them and elevated him to iconic status. Brando notably never spoke publicly about Dean after his death, taking whatever secrets they shared to his grave. Another love story sacrificed to Hollywood's merciless image machine. Some of these affairs quietly disappeared, while others shattered reputations, ended careers, and even led to exile. Hollywood's golden age wasn't just about glitz and glamour, it was a world of passion, betrayal, and hidden truths. But here's the real question. How many more secrets are still buried, waiting to be uncovered? If you found these Hollywood scandals shocking, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story that the industry tried to erase. Which secret affair surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.